Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits, the Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got on the line with me, Don Perdue, drag racer. Hey, Don.
Hi, guys. How are you?
So, Don, can you tell us what got you into drag racing?
Well, I was going to the racetrack to see my dad race. Was actually when I was in diapers. He was actually racing in started racing in the 70s, and I was down there supporting him when I was a little girl. He was driving a 71 Ford Pinto at Cecil County Dragway in Maple Grove in Reading, PA.
And then you started drag racing at 16?
Yes, I did.
You were driving a bracket car?
Actually, I was driving my dad's, first I started at 16, I started driving a 97 GT Mustang in the street category for about a year. And then actually my brother was racing the old Pinto that my dad was racing in the 70s. And then he ended up getting a Pro Stock car, 88 Pro Stock Thunderbird. So then I wanted to go a little faster, of course, so I jumped in the Pinto that my dad drove in the 70s, running around 10 seconds in the quarter mile with it has a 351 Cleveland powered engine in it.
Yeah, I read it was 10.30 seconds, 125 miles per hour in a quarter mile.
Yes, yep, sure is.
And then
I still have that car today.
Yeah, you're still driving that car today.
Actually, no. Everybody, this year I end up building for the past couple of years I've been building a new Pro Stock, old school Pro Stock Pinto. It has a big block Ford 572 in it, so right now it's going 8 seconds in the quarter mile. So now I got two Pintos.
So then in your early 20s, you were approached by 422 Motorsports Nostalgia Superstock team?
Yes, I was, for sure. Yeah, that team is a great team. I drove a lot of different nostalgia superstock cars, learning about the old school type of racing with the arms dropping and learning the old school type of racing, which is wonderful. I really learned a lot, and I still like it to this day. And I drove for Fast Fred Henderson and a couple other guys that let me drive their car down the quarter mile, pretty much on the East Coast. And yeah, it was a fantastic time for about 2 years.
You drove a 1964 half Ford Galaxy and a 1960s Ford Fairlane?
Yes, I did.
So what kind of speeds did you get out of those cars?
They ran about, the Fairlane ran like 920s, about 140 miles per hour. The Galaxy, that was a great car to drive. That was my first, big, over, the wheelbase, so it was really long and everything. But that car ran about 10 seconds, about 130 at the quarter mile. The Galaxy was really fun. It was like, the back end of it so huge. Like, you would go down the track and you could just feel it swaying back and forth with the big steering wheel. So it was very exciting.
So how was it getting behind the wheel for the bracket car for the first time ever going down a drag strip? How was that feeling?
Well, I thought I knew something, like I watched my dad over and I watched my brother race and stuff like that, the same car, and I was like, it looked like it could be easy, but I was kind of, nervous, and the car wheel stands a little bit like right about the 60 foot, so the wheel stands in the air and stuff like that, so I got in it. I was like, it's totally different when you're behind the wheel of any race car, really. The first time leaving off, we have a trans brake in both of the race cars, and my dad said his advice was showing me how to drag race. He says, there's the brake, there's the gas pedal, push the gas pedal, go. That was my racing training. So I floated to the ground, took off, and all I saw was sky, and I was like, oh my god. So what I did was I let off and I slammed down, and I hit the headers a little bit, but my dad wasn't too happy about that, but he got over it.
Now are these?
But no, it was definitely with the short wheelbase car. That was it. That's all I'm used to. When I get in like a bigger car, it's kind of like, it feels weird to me. But the Pintos, I love Pintos. Short wheelbase cars, I love them. This car wanted to go straight, upside down, crooked, every which way but straight. So it was definitely a handful, and it still is to this day. But it's won me a lot of races, and it's been down the track over a ton of time. You know, it's definitely a winning car, and definitely don't want to get rid of it. I'm just going to keep it as a backup car.
Now, these cars we discussed, now, are these the only cars you drove until the jet cars?
Yes.
In 2012, you got a Maple Grove. You were approached by former Jet Funny Car driver Bob Vansgiver for the opportunity.
Yes, I sure did. Yep.
To get behind the wheel of a Jet Thunder Jet Dragster.
Yes. Yep.
So how was the first time going behind the wheel of a Jet Dragster?
Wow, that was very scary. You know, you think you know something, like, you know, you've been down the track a million times, quarter mile, 130 is like, okay, well, you know, it's not super fast, but, you know, nothing is compared to like 300 miles per hour. But, you know, definitely a different world, because, you know, the fuel's at your hands. You have two brake pedals, one's front brakes, one's back brakes. And when the jet winds up, it's kind of like, it feels like you're going to be shooting, like, it seems like it's going to just push you right through, you know. But it's very scary at first, and I only made 2 runs down the track before Bob was like, he's like, we're going to hit afterburner and we're going to go. And I was like, oh, no more training? He's like, nope, we're going to do this. So, yeah, it's definitely, it feels like a roller coaster that you're in control of. It's definitely, wow. That's all I can say. I've been wanting to drive one of these things for the longest time. And Bob Vansgiver, he used to own Acton, New Jersey, and he paved the way for all the jet racers today. And his knowledge was, you know, he taught me everything I needed to know. And I definitely went, with his car, I went 537, 297 and a quarter mile.
Now, did Bob Vansgiver, did he license you?
Yes, he did.
And then you started 2013 for Elaine Larson. How did you hook up with Elaine?
I actually known the Larsons from running the NMRA, National Mustang Racing Association, and the NMCA. They would actually drive their jets, and I'd be actually racing my bracket car. Known them for a couple years. I mean, when I actually started driving for them, I've known them for like 7 years, just that personally, but just for being at the track. And they always knew I wanted to drive one of these things. And before they had a, you know, girl, really fantastic driver, Marisha Falk, before she got the job, I told them, I was like, look, I want to drive a jet. I don't care what it takes. I want to drive a jet. But then, you know, they're from Florida, and Marisha was from Embry-Riddle, so they had her she got the job. And then so I just like hung out, and, you know, I was always hanging around the jet people and stuff like that. Everybody knew I was interested, because I put in for the Queen of Diamonds as well before Jill got it. So when I was with Bob, there was kind of a financial issue with on his side. So Elaine and them knew I was looking for another ride, and they said that they put out a press release for wanting 2 more girls. So I put in for that, and I got the first seat to drive for them.
Yeah, you got a multi-deal contract.
Right.
Now, Lloyd Woodbury sent me a message to say hi to you.
Oh, tell him I said hello. Oh, he's a fantastic fan. I love him. I met him in Florida. A lot of the fans I've met, they're all in Florida, and you know, it's great. It's a great feeling to have these followers.
And he wants me to ask you a question. Will you be driving jets anymore?
Oh, of course. This year I haven't been driving. We took a year off, so I was just just getting my new car. Actually, I was building this car for the last, 3 or 4 years. I am looking into 2018, and there's a lot of stuff up my sleeve, and it's going to be a fantastic year.
I know you said possibly you might work with the one team, and then maybe one other team you're talking. Like 2 different teams you're talking to.
Yes, I've been, for the past couple of years, I've been talking to multiple, jet teams and everything. But yes, yep. Yeah,
Tammy Gatlin. Yeah.
Oh yes, they're a great team. I met them actually this year at Maple Grove Raceway for the first time. So I get to meeting so many other jet teams and stuff like that. And there's just such a great, all these people up in the East Coast and Michigan, Scotty Heath, and all those guys. It's such a great, jet people are great.
Yeah, Scotty Heat always comes up here by where me and my wife live in the Great Lakes Dragway in Union Grove, Wisconsin. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's always up here for Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend. He's here.
Yeah, him and his girlfriend, and they're great people. And those jets, they can definitely. He would be a great bracket car for that jet. It runs 301, 301 all day long. Yeah, so they're wonderful. Tammy and Tommy, like I said, I met them this year, and they're fantastic, and good set of people, and they're wonderful to their fans.
So this year you've been driving the Pinto all year long?
Yes, I've been trying to conquer this new car and trying to get the bugs out of it. Everything is going good, pretty smoothly this year. The car is ETing, but it's mile per hour, but it's not ETing. So we're gonna. I have 2 more races left, and then we're going to tear it apart. Probably it might be the converter or the something. It's after the 1,000th foot. It's like losing something there. So it seems like I have to grab another gear. But I have a Paraglide. Only has 2 gears. So something's not there. So we're going to work on that this winter and get that going for the following year.
Okay, so now where are these last 2 races going to be at?
One is going to be at Maple Grove in October. Is it the 15th? It's a Fun Ford series. It's going to be at Maple Grove. And then the following weekend after that is my favorite race of all times. At Budds Creek, Maryland. I don't know if you ever heard of that racetrack. They hold a lot of big races and stuff. So that's a Ford race as well, and they always the track is fantastic. The people that run it, and so I'll be there the Budds Creek weekend is like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday race. So I'll be there with my brother. He races as well, so we're going to be there with all my family and friends.
Now, when you take the Pinto out, how many crew members do you have for the Pinto?
Oh, just my father.
So who does all the work?
My dad.
Who does all the work on the Pinto? You and your dad?
Actually, Dawn's just really the driver. I clean the car, I do some stuff and help them, but my dad by far is the one that works on everything. My brother does a lot of work. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would do. But the motor work, we usually send our motor work out. But this guy that we used to have, Dave Bristol from Philadelphia. He's like 80 years old. He's been working on the engines for us since my dad was driving. And we've never, with the old Pinto, the purple Pinto with the 351 Cleveland, that's the same engine that's been in that car since the 70s, and we've never blew an engine, but he's getting up there in age, and now, he can't even pick up a head and stuff, so we're looking for a new motor guy now. So it's kind of, when you've had a guy for so long, it's hard to, find someone else you can trust. So, but he used to do all of our motor work and stuff. So now it's just in search of a new engine guy.
Well, if anyone out there is listening does engine work and you're very trustworthy, get in touch with her. Now,
yes, definitely.
Now, Lloyd Woodbury asked another question. He wants to know, how is your neck and back doing since your accident?
I've been sore and everything. I've been going to doctors, getting some treatments and stuff like that. But yeah, I got in a car accident last year while actually not driving a race car, going to a race. I was in a licensed vehicle and we were at a red light and got rear-ended and my head hit the back window. So, of course, after you get in a car accident, it changes your life forever. But it's day by day with that. I definitely don't feel like the same Dawn I used to be, but I guess it's something that I'm going to have to live with, you know what I mean?
Right. Now, since you've been drag racing in your career, have you had any near accidents or accidents drag racing?
No, I actually, with the Pintos, no, they've been really good. My dad, keeps me pretty much on my toes and pretty much, the Jets, last year I had, I think it was 2 years ago. We were up in Canada. I had a near, kind of like a scary situation where, it was a bad weekend just because, my flights were delayed. I didn't get into the airport while my team was actually, already at the track in Canada. We were running the IHRA Nitro Jam, and we lost my luggage at the airport, and then it was like half an hour before I was going to be able to get, I was supposed to be in the lane to run. So my crew chief came and picked me up at the airport and put me in, took me to the track, put me in the car, and I was racing a lane, and I was going down, finishing the, running the quarter mile. I pulled the primary chute, didn't feel nothing hit, so I was like, oh boy. So I pulled my reserve, still didn't feel nothing, and all of a sudden, I was just, of course, you react. I felt the car, it went left, it went right, and dragsters, like jets, you can't hit the brakes, you can't touch the brakes at all. You use the brakes at the start line, but you don't use the brakes at all. You just rely on your parachutes. So, I always saw with cars coming up towards me. I mean, I was in the center lane. I don't even know where a lane was, but, I was pretty much trying to keep the car, from going into her lane. And then, so finally I felt the reserve hit and then the primary hit. So what happened was, there was like an angled crosswind that hit me, and we had lazy chutes. So in Canada, the altitude is low, so we had the chutes taped, which we shouldn't have, because we usually tape them down here because they're, when we pull the chutes, the, the tape breaks, and it doesn't hit as hard, it doesn't hurt us as bad, so it's not a real hard hit. But, so when we went to Canada, we should have just left them not taped, so they would have not hit as hard, but they wouldn't have been so slow to come out. And then with that angled crosswind coming in, it just hit the reserve instead of the primary first, so it kind of like pushed me all over the track. So that was pretty scary for me. But I got back in it next round and did it again, and it went fine. So
that's good.
Yes.
Now, when you were driving for the Larson Motorsports, what kind of fuel were you using in the jet car?
What kind of what? Sorry.
What kind of fuel was the jet running on?
They, the Larsons use jet fuel with theirs. A lot of guys up this way, or in any jet, you can use diesel fuel. Like when I was running with Bob, he would use diesel fuel or kerosene, but with Larsons, we use Jet A.
Okay. Do you know what kind of jet engine was in it?
Larson's was the General Electric. I thought it was wait. Bob's was the Pratt. Bob's was J60 Pratt and Whitney, and then Larson's was the J85 General Electric. Right.
Okay, now
the J. Go ahead. I love the J60s. The J60s, that's the one was in the Jersey Thunder with Bob Van Sciver, and that thing just has a different sound to it, and it's really, really sounds strong, but it's just the engines are hard to find anymore, so it's very expensive to run that engine. But that's one of my favorite engines.
Now, with the fire show and the run, how many gallons of fuel were you running?
18 gallons.
And how many gallons did the jet dragster hold, the one for Larson's?
About the same.
Okay.
Yep. And it depends on how big of a fire show you do, is the more fuel you use, but it was about 18.
Now, for you, you used to put on a big fire show?
Yeah, oh yes, definitely.
Now, besides your dad, what other inspirations, like drag racers, were your inspirations to you growing up?
There's, of course, when we were being, like, at the racetrack with my dad, I really look up, besides my dad, my brother. He is very, he's helped me along my way. Like, if sometimes my dad was really, like, hard on me, my brother would come up to me and be like, Dawn, relax, just focus on this race and stuff like that. So it was my brother, and actually my mom raced for a long time, a couple of years too. But mainly it was, I always looked up, there was one girl I looked up to, and this is why I wanted to drive jet so bad, was Jessie Harris. She used to run the Queen of Diamonds back in the day. She was this beautiful, like, Barbie doll getting out of the jet. She was so pretty. She had the perfect personality, this long, curly blonde hair, and she would, like, run, like, 300-plus miles per hour to Acco, Maple Grove, all around. But she was just the nicest person. But even today, I still talk to her a lot and everything. So it was between those people, they were the ones I really looked up to the most.
Now, currently, right now, who do you look up to in drag racing?
Well, I just got back from, I work a lot of the events for Maple Grove. They say that, like, I work at the VIP suites, and I just got back from working up the national event this weekend at Maple Grove, and Leah Pritchett, like, I really look up to her. I love jets, but if I wanted to have one time in one of those top categories, it would be a top viewer. But she worked her way up from the bottom all the way to the top. She had problems getting sponsors and stuff like that, but she came a long way, and she works for everything she ever had and stuff. So I really look up to her. Definitely. And I work, pretty much everybody. I mean, I can learn from every single person out there. There's so many, like, great racers out there. Clay Milliken, he is the most wonderful person in the world. I met him during racing with the IHRA Nitro Jam, and he was a part of that program. And I can go up there. I just went up there, this weekend, and he totally knew who I was, and he was, like, asking how my racing and stuff is. He qualifies #1 a lot of stuff, but he's there. He's so nice to everybody. He's there for the fans. I mean, I went over there, and he was working on during the rounds and stuff, and, like, he totally stopped what he was doing just to go over there and talk to the fans. And, if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Right.
So, like, it's great going down the quarter mile, doing the speeds and stuff like that. But, for me and for a lot of the racers, it's the fans are what makes you happy, being at the track, people following you. If it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here doing what we do.
Yeah, and the good thing about drag racing is the fans have access to meet all you drivers, not like the circle track racing.
Right, exactly. I was talking about that this weekend to a girl that was in the suites, and I was like, it's a totally, like, I mean, it's racing, but, like, the guys, like, here they can go right up to their, pit area and talk to the driver, look what they're doing and stuff, and meet the driver. Yeah, like in NASCAR or something like that. Like, you can't get that access unless it's a special, pass and stuff. So, yeah, it's wonderful what NHRA and IHRA drag racing, quarter mile racing, the experience that you can get for being a fan, spectator, drag racer, or anything.
Right. Now, can you tell us a story about how you prepare for a weekend of drag racing?
Well, yeah. I'm all about, before I start racing, like the day before I start racing, of course we get or before we go on the road or whatever we're doing, of course you have to clean the race car trailers, you have to clean the trucks. I always have to have my car nice and clean. My dad this new car that's been, out. He's like, do you want a race car or do you want a show car? I said, I want it both. So, of course, I have to clean all the chrome on it and stuff. And, of course, Dawn has to go to bed early every night, like super early. I don't do any socialize. I just go to bed, get some rest and everything. And pretty much, like, it all depends. With jet racing, there's a lot more work, actually, that I have to do with my dad. And then when we go racing with bracket racing, there is, sad to say, with bracket racing and stuff, what you do is there's not a lot of, like, fans there, people watching the races. Like, it's a money race to make money and need to win money. But there's not a lot of people. Like, people that are in my local area, they'll come and see me, but they might not come every weekend, or it's pretty quiet. So there's not like I have to set up a lot of stuff with my race car. I pull the car out. I have to get it checked in. I have to get, to make sure all my safety equipment's there, and then help my brother as well. But, with the jet racing or anything, with Top Fuel, you have to put the awnings on. You have to get your autograph cards ready and get ready to talk to, as soon as the track opens, like if you've been in national events, like as soon as the track opens, 7 o'clock in the morning, those fans, those people are there, and they're there to talk to you right away. So pretty much it's a busy, when you're up in the higher ranks, they're there all day long to talk to you. I think when I was racing last year at the 4-wide NHRA race with the jet team, I think I signed boxes after boxes of autograph cards. There were 5,000 in each box. So it was all day. I was so tired of it. My arm hurt so bad from signing autographs. So, but it's two different worlds, like with my racing and then if it's jet racing and Top Fuel and stuff like that. But I still get the wonderful people that still come out and see me in the racing the Pinto as they do as in the jet racing program.
Right. Now, how important to you is it for the kids to come out to watch drag racing?
Oh, yes. I love kids. It's very, it's very important. They look up to us to see, especially the girls and stuff like that. They see us out there. They're like, wow, we can do this. Boys do it, girls can do it as well. The little kids, they have such a big heart. They come out and they're just wowed about what you do. And, sometimes the noise is a little bit too loud for them. And it depends on what age, but if you sit them in your car, if it's any type of car, they're just their world lights up. So, having them and being able to hug and squeeze them and kiss them and stuff like that, it just makes you feel wonderful. And I have a lot of little kids that actually still remember me growing up. They still contact me on Facebook and stuff like that when they get older and everything. But it's very good for them, to see what they can do. If we can do it, they can do it as well. If they want to, they can be whatever they want to be when they grow up. But this is a great sport to belong to. It's nothing, of course, everybody, it is dangerous, dangerous sport, but, stuff can happen on the regular road. Look what happened with me with just a car accident, but, it's just, it's wonderful to see the whole family. Drag racing is a family thing.
And there are a lot of junior dragsters out there now.
Oh my gosh, when I was 16 and I was racing, when I was younger, my dad was like, oh, we'll wait till you get a bigger car, you don't need to do junior dragsters and stuff. But these little kids in these junior dragsters, they're so good. And, when they're out there with the bracket racers, so they're every Sunday or Saturday when I'm going racing, they're actually there early in the morning. They have them out of bed, and they're out there 8 o'clock in the morning racing and stuff, but they're very good. So I'm when they get a little bit older and when they get in these big cars, we're in trouble.
So what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Butts Creek, Maryland's one of my favorites. It's just a beautiful track. It has actually a really long shutdown area, and the owners that used to own it, the Millers. They actually sold the track to IHRA, but they were really fantastic. Maple Grove is a beautiful track in Reading, PA. It's really nice. A lot of nice people up there, and Cecil County is actually only 10 minutes from my parents' house, and that's where I used to start, drag racing when I first started. It's a little tiny track. They have some big, like, Yellow Bullet Nationals and stuff like that, so they have a lot of heads-up races there and stuff, but that track's just home to me, pretty much. But there's a lot of them. Since I was running with the IHRA Nitro Jam, I went to a lot of nice tracks like Rockingham. I didn't make it up to your way any when I was. Hopefully soon in the future I'll get up your way somewhere. But Canada, there was a really lot of nice people up there. But I think just because being around my own little tracks, they're only like about Maple Grove's about an hour from my house, and then Cecil from my parents' house is from 10 minutes, and then Budds Creek Moon's about 2.5. So they're actually my three favorite tracks.
Okay. Now, who do you get your fire suit made from?
I have all my safety equipment from Simpson.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to the, I guess, the fun questions now. If you were able to travel back in time and do something differently, what would you do?
It's crazy because I think about that all the time. It's like, what would I be doing if I wasn't drag racing? And I can't think of anything I would not want to, what I would be doing, anything, I can't think of, pretty much I seem like if I wasn't doing it, it was just, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't drag racing, to be answer that question. I can't think, I love sports and stuff like that, but something you can drag race until you're, till you can't do it no more, but just something like if you have family, this is just a family-oriented, sport. Of course, I don't know what, I'm all about extreme things, I always wanted to bungee jump, I always wanted to skydive, and so I haven't did it yet, but anything like bowling and all that stuff, I don't think it would keep me, interested, like drag racing.
So do you have any hobbies currently outside of drag racing?
No. That keeps me busy for sure, but I used to like, playing basketball and playing baseball and stuff like that, and, but I just pretty much I'm a very family-oriented person, so I spend a lot of time with my family and my friends, and like I said, if I'm not racing with them and they're out to the track with me, I see my parents every day, I call them on the phone every day, so definitely into my family big time.
So do you have a favorite vacation spot?
Hawaii. Hawaii is my favorite. I went there one time, and I actually literally cried on my way home. I was like, I want to stay. Why can't I live here? So, of course, everywhere is beautiful, but, that place is just breathtaking, and it's, 75 degrees all year round, and so I heard that there's a racetrack there, but I know there's probably not a lot of, different people that shows up there, but I didn't get to see it when I was out there. I was searching for it, but Hawaii is so beautiful.
Okay, now what's Don Perdue's favorite food?
My chicken. Chicken, I love chicken. Not just because it's my last name. I'm not related to the Perdue Chicken Man.
My wife likes the Perdue chicken. Everybody's either are you related to? I was I wish, because then I could have Perdue, I guess a chicken on the side of my car as a sponsor, making all kinds of, But no, a lot of people spell my name P-U-R-D-U-E, the university, but no, it's the Perdue chicken. What's your favorite beverage of choice?
Oh, boy, orange. So I'm not a really big, if it's on the alcohol side, I like the apple cider drinks, but then on the regular side, I am a big fan of Orange Crush. It's my weakness. I shouldn't drink it, but it's always
semi-favorite.
Favorite music?
Music. That's really... It all depends. I love all music. I got brought up in country. But I do like rock, and I do like rap. I do like oldies. So it's kind of like, depends on what, like when I'm getting ready to go racing, get in the car, getting all hyped up, I like rock, like heavy rock. Not the rock that you can't really understand, but the heavy, hard rock. And also, it all depends, but I love all music.
Now, Dawn, if someone came up to you and gave you $150 million and said, Dawn, build a new drag racing track, where would you build it, and what kind of features would you put in it?
Oh, so they gave me money to build my own track?
Yeah, $150 million.
Oh, dear. Where would I build it? Oh, my gosh. You got me on here. Where would I build that? It would be nice if, I would like that to be near a beach, but that wouldn't be so good with all the hurricanes and all that stuff like that. It couldn't be in, like, there's one in Hawaii, but then, of course, you can't get a lot of people over there unless you ship it over there. You really got me stumped on that one. Where would I build it at? Yeah. If I could, I would definitely build it on my favorite place, which would be Hawaii. Have you ever heard of actually Galat Raceway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new track. I've never been, but my brother and my dad went, and they said it's all heated and air conditioned like track and stuff like that. It sounds wonderful. That would definitely be a plus. But you actually got me stumped with this. It's something I have to think about. Okay. What would I do with all that, with the track? I mean, of course, I would make it the best track. I would love, one thing I would love to do, I don't know if there's a track like this, but I would like to have something like you could build over top of it, so when it rains, it does not rain on the racetrack. To have a cover, actually like a dome.
Right.
So we can race, so it's not like we're not going to get canceled on race day because of rain.
Yeah, you'll never have a rained out race.
That's right. I don't know if there's a track like that, but that would be wonderful.
Okay, so
yeah, you go.
What's been your fondest memory in drag racing in your career?
Well, I think it was probably in 2010, maybe 2009, when my brother and I went down to Budds Creek, Maryland for the Ford race. I think it was a Ford race, but I think it was for the NMRA in May. And I raced my brother in the final on Saturday, and I won on Saturday, and then he ended up winning on Sunday. So it was pretty much a family win all weekend long, and it was just so wonderful to, be out there with the family, and then we both bring it home to win. So I think that was the most memorable, it's a greatest weekend I've ever had in racing.
Very good. Well, Dawn, I want to thank you for your time. Do you have any last words for all the fans out there?
No, I just thank you for all the fans, family, and friends out there that has always supported me. I love you guys, and I'll keep you updated for the 2018. And I wanted to give a shout-out to, I belong to the Ronald McDonald house, Denny Parson. He puts on a race for Ronald's house, and if there's anybody out there that would like to make any donations to the Ronald McDonald house, you can look for a race for Ronald's house. We actually put on a race every year at Maple Grove to put for they have Ronald's house. We pretty much donate the money. If it's like $100, we'll put the family in the house for 3 days. So pretty much, it's a great. It holds a great part.
it's a wonderful thing. So if anybody is looking for a charity, this is a great charity, and you can look up me on Facebook, Twitter, and I can let you know about the charity.
Okay, so everybody want to donate to that, do that. Get a hold of Dawn. What's the best way for everyone to see your racing schedule? The Dawn Perdue Racing on Facebook.
Yes, and I have a fan page as well as Dawn Perdue Jet Racing. So you can follow me with the jet racing, and I actually put on all my racing with the Pintos as well.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you don't have a website or anything?
No, at the time I do not. I will be getting one for 2018.
Okay, we'll probably interview you again next year, then we'll get the website out there.
Yes.
So thank you.
I appreciate you having me on here tonight. That's so wonderful.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for taking the time to do the interview.
No problem. You guys have a wonderful night.
And good luck with the next 2 races you have left.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good night, Dawn.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.